doer.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Matt, what the hell was that?
Wasn't me, coach. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. Get off our lawn.
Welcome to the Straight Red Card. We're back.
Hello.
So make sure you like, subscribe, and share it with your grandma or your great aunt or your great uncle or your uncle. Who knows? They might have the same sense of humor that we do, which, you know, it's obviously it's
the humor of a 12-year-old.
Kind of, yeah.
A slightly advanced 12-year-old, at least.
You know, you look back on our old show, we weren't very funny because we were so constrained by the rules of being big soccer show, right? So everything was fucking serious on that show. Well, not everything, but it was pretty serious. Going back,
a lot was serious.
I mean, yeah, going back and listening to some of those old shows, I'm like, damn, Derek, you sound like a real journalist. What happened?
Taking this way too seriously.
Hey, but when you have real guests on the show, you kind of had to. I mean, what are you going to invite Joe Max Moore on and just schlub around like a couple drunks all day? No, that ain't going to work. He's not going to put up with that shit, or he doesn't want to. I mean, he might. I don't know. He was a nice guy, so maybe he would have been like, oh, fuck, but he didn't know us from Adam. So, you know.
It would have been great to have recorded like the behind-the-scene talk, like the talk before the show actually started, because none of that was live. It was all recorded, so we could have just jumped on, recorded, and then started shooting the shit. And then, okay, we're going to start in 3, 2, 1, do the intro. And then we could have had all this behind-the-scene footage. Would have been great.
Or
but we didn't think about that at the time.
Audio. Yeah. Audio. I mean, yeah, we had some really great talks before and after those shows. And kind of missed that. But you know what? It's okay. We got what we got now, and I really enjoyed this much more, frankly. I loved the last show. So if you missed the last show, I thought it was one of our best shows. I know it wasn't laden with all kinds of juicy commentary about, you know, who's fucking ballistic sister. Oh shit, it's only 2:59 in. I blew that one already.
You son of a.
But it was a great show. We had a great time, and that's what's important, right? The turd in the background says, "Welcome to the Straight Red Card." Oh no, again with the exclamation mark. Welcome to the Straight Red Card. It seems I have competition for the biggest head of the communications turd. James Mooney from Leeds won cunt of the week according to Leeds fans. My wife is pissed. Is that because she likes to win cunt of the week?
Hell yeah.
I guess that's what the implication there is. James Mooney, what did he do besides just get up and talk, which was probably enough to annoy any Leeds fan after that game? And we will get into the Leeds, and we'll get into McKenzie. Not into him like up his ass, but we will talk about that game.
4 minutes in. Damn
it. And yeah, why you would replace him with, 15 minutes left. I guess the game was over. It didn't really matter. I guess you got to get Forshaw in and give him some time and see if he's worth it. Forshaw did nothing when he came on. So I think.
But halfway through that second half, man, I just got up, walked over, kept the TV was still running. I was still watching, but I just walked over and started doing some dishes.
Dude, it's embarrassing.
That was a much more productive use of my time.
It was bad. I mean, there were so many bad games I watched this weekend. I watched Sargent at Norwich. Why? I mean, outside of his goal, which was great. But it was just a horrible game to watch. It's just they're a bad team now. Maybe they should have hung on to Dean Smith. Maybe they should have, because Wagner has fucked the pooch since he came in. They have gone
Sargent up top. That's all I'm happy about.
They've gone from 6th down to 13th, and Pookie didn't even play. I don't know if he was injured, but maybe he
came in. He came in later. In the
really
match.
late,
yeah.
really late. Yeah, after I stopped giving a fuck.
After their third goal, you're like, God, fuck.
Yeah,
I'm watching this. Yeah, jeez.
This game's over.
Before we get too far into it, I don't want anybody to ruin their chance of winning bingo this week.
All right, hold on.
Look away. Okie dokie. Let's pull it up. Here's card number 1, guys. Card number 1. Come on, that Derek and Brett argue. That's going to happen regardless. This should be a free space.
Did we argue last time?
I don't know. This one kind of coincides with it. Brett pisses off Derek.
Is that one show where like I don't even want to cover this anymore?
It probably was.
Remember the game? It was the game where we reviewing. Oh, it's the U.S. friendly, and I was like, I don't even want to talk about this game anymore. Can we move on to another topic?
All right, Derek, you're good.
Fucking
man.
hate it. Okay,
You're good.
All right. Hey, did you see the Pearl Jam are coming to Indy? I mean, I'm not a big fan. Not a big fan.
Is it in fact actually all of Pearl Jam, or is it just Eddie? Because Eddie has been doing just tours on his own.
No, it's most of the band, as I understand it. But did you see the price on those fucking tickets?
I imagine it's an arm and a leg.
$800.
That's gotta be like front row shit, man. That can't be like back.
No,
back
that's basic attendance.
Where's it at?
I don't know, but I said $800. I'm not paying $800 to see jack shit anybody. $800? I'll just go on YouTube and listen to the song I want to listen to. I don't need to pay $800 to see old Eddie Vedder.
Well, especially since he's got like he doesn't have quite the same range as he used to. He relatively blew out his vocal cords.
Well, certainly he can hit those.
I mean,
that's
sure,
not
in that
even
song,
that
yeah.
high. I mean, he might be able to do the at the end that he does. Remember? That's kind of a high note. I have a hard time hitting that, but yeah, I don't know what else. I mean, they were a decent band. I never thought they were great. I thought they had some good songs, but I never bought a Pearl Jam album in my life. And I just like what I saw on MTV back in the day was enough for me. I'm like, yeah, it was all right. Jeremy spoken today. Yeah, he goes into class. And
their 10 album was good. I enjoyed that thoroughly. They kind of softened up moving forward from that point on. So it was their debut album. They had Jeremy, Black, all that stuff, Alive.
Yeah. Even flow.
Yeah.
All around like I don't even know what the fuck he says. I can't even.
Most people don't know what what he says.
I don't understand anything that comes out of his mouth. I have to always look at the lyric sheet because I just don't get it.
Some songs are like that. Some songs. He did do Hunger Strike, but he did that with what's his face from Audio Slave. Grace. So I can't think of the guy.
Chris Cornell.
Yes, Cornell. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. That was sad when he
Cornell was basically organized Temple of the Dog, and he had a bunch of his friends come on.
Yeah. I mean,
Hunger Strike was Eddie. Yeah.
Chris Cornell was one of the angriest guitar players that ever lived. I mean, bless his soul, he's gone. Left us too soon. Really liked his voice. But man, he would just tear through. They would have like 10 guitars set up for him during a live show because the strings would just rip off the guitar when he played it.
Dude
I never even understood it. Huh?
Dude can fucking belt too, man. That guy had
he's got
quite the vocal range.
Got a great voice. And then they had that last big hit before they kind of just hung it up generally for the most part.
He did a lot of solo stuff later on in his career. Like later on.
Oh, yeah. But the big one we all remember with Black Hole Sun, won't you come? A lot of singing here tonight. All right, Hunger Strike duet.
With Brett and Derek.
I think we'll probably pass on that.
We'll work on that maybe later.
Maybe, yeah.
Well, you'll throw a little auto-tune in there because you got to correct this shit.
Oh, who's that chick? There was a chick who did a cover of Black Hole Sun on piano that I thought was pretty damn good. Can't remember her name. She used to live in her car and all that shit. They made a big deal out of that when she was coming up as a artist. Maybe I know.
I know Jewel's like homeless for a while in her life.
Yeah, I think it might have been Jewel.
Was it Jewel?
Might have been. Yeah, good. That's a good call, Brett. Just another shout out. I know we already pointed out that Charlotte needs to stop, or MLS needs to stop using CLT as their acronym for games because it really does look like clit, and that needs to be fixed. But I did notice, and just never noticed it before, but ESPN uses ATM for Atletico Madrid. That's kind of questionable too, right?
Yeah. Like,
Ass to mouth?
Are they suggesting? Sometimes in the heat of the moment, Derek.
Surely there's a better way to indicate Atletico Madrid than ATM. But hey, quit calling me Shirley. All right. So we got some things to cover today. And I know, listen, there were no major, Breck Shea didn't wrestle a snake. Nothing weird happened this week, except for the fact that the Yanks abroad got stomped. They collectively went 8 wins, 2 ties, and 19 losses this weekend. Yeah. I mean, it was just a loss fest. And then some other guys didn't even get to play. And then thank God earlier today, Tessman and his company continued to move up suddenly the table after starting off like stinkers in Serie B with Venezia. Now they're actually on the verge of promotion or getting into the promotion zone, right? Because I think you mentioned 8 teams get in the playoffs there to move up. That's crazy. 8?
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah, we got that pulled up. We'll definitely cover that here in a sec. Yeah.
All right. Well, you got something else you want to cover first?
Yeah, we can cover this. This will be a little bit fun. Hold on, I gotta make sure I'm sharing the right thing here. I guess I could have just looked.
Even flow. While you're doing that, I'll just do some.
I only wanted to pull this up because Derek, have you ever been to the Fairfax Bar and Grill in Bloomington?
The Fairfax Bar and Grill?
Yeah.
Amid backlash from their stance on the Dylan Mulvaney Bud Light partnership. Earlier this month, bar officials claimed customers wanting to speak out about the controversial partnership will be immediately asked to pay their bill and leave. But now the establishment says they will not censor opinions. I have never heard of this bar, and I just moved here.
Well, Fairfax is a hotel, is it not? Is it not?
Could be.
Oh.
Fairfax. I mean, is that out in the outer rim of the county?
Never mind. It's just a bar and grill. Never mind. Take that back.
So where is it? Where in Bloomington is it? Does it have an address?
It is on. Oddly enough, it's on Fairfax Road in Bloomington.
Yeah, that's got to be out in the boonies. Out in the boonies, outside the city. I don't know where that would be because Fairfax Road is not a road I have traversed much. So I'm imagining it's out in the county. What we call the county.
It's over by the reservoir. It's by Four Winds. It's by Four Winds.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So it's on the rim. And you know what? Just different people out there, right? The further you get out from the city, the more county people you have, the more, fuck Bud Light kind of folks, that you're going to get. Whereas most people are like, Bud Light fucked up. They're going to pay the price. Not my problem. I don't care. I'm not going to lose any sleep over Dylan Mulvaney. I really am not, because I have nothing against Dylan Mulvaney. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. If he wants to
take the money, Bud Light. I mean, this isn't on him by any means.
No,
but I mean, as a business, I mean,
it's a poor business decision. That's for sure.
Either you can disagree with people. That's perfectly fine, but don't tell people to fuck off unless you're willing to lose their business.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you're willing to lose the business, that's perfectly fine. You can go for it.
Well, apparently they weren't, because now they're running all kinds of different commercials. With the horses and the America theme again. Yeah. America. So, they've done a 180. Like, did they fire that chick who did it?
She's on administrative leave or something like that.
So this chick's such a fucking hypocrite. She's like, it's all fratty. Our image is all fratty. And then they have her pictures of her at a frat party drinking fucking shots out of a fucking rubber. A fucking condom.
They were trying to expand their audience and be more inclusive. But the way to expand your audience isn't to tell a portion of the audience, fuck you. We're breaking away from you assholes. I don't know.
Well, be nice if she wasn't such a fucking hypocrite. So when you were making fun of fratty people and America people, when you were kind of one of those fratty people doing fratty parties and drinking Jello shots out of condoms. I don't know, kind of fratty, kind of sorority fratty to me. But oh well. We all know that all those corporations are fucking hypocrites. They're all hypocrites. They don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're not around normal, everyday, average working class Americans. No, most of those corporate guys, their shit don't stink according to them. They live in a different world from you and I, and unless they're hanging out with 29, who apparently is rich as shit. Oh, I'm glad he's our friend though, because he's not a corporate dude. He's just he's an influencer, right? How do you make money being an influencer? God damn, I miss my calling in life. Timothy Martinson could just not drink the beer, but nah, everyone has to be outraged about something. I mean, I wasn't.
Yeah, I'm fine with the just not drink the beer thing, because quite frankly, that's basically what most people are doing at this point. And the beer does suck.
The beer is shit.
Bud Light is shit. Yes,
I mean it's horrible beer.
That's the thing. If you don't like something from a company, your best option is just not to buy their shit. You don't have to make a huge stink about it. Just, I'm going to fuck off over here and buy this shit instead.
I mean, if you want to be pissed off about something, you be pissed off the fact that they really don't care the fuck about these issues whatsoever. Yep. This is all fake. And it's just revealing for their fakeness and their inability to actually be genuine or authentic. Because they're not.
Dylan, make your money by all means. Take all if the companies want to flood you with money, that's great. That's awesome. It's more just the signaling. It's the
fakeness of it.
What is Bud Light? Yeah, no, fuck that.
Yeah, Bud Light's a fake. It's a fake organization. Yeah. They're fake people selling fake shitty beer. Barely passes as beer. They're not interested in quality, good taste, good commercials. Really,
nearly 20 years since I'm drinking a Bud.
Yeah, it's all shit. It's all a joke. They're a joke, and so are most major corporate beers. They're all jack shit nasty, for the most part. There are a few exceptions. Yeah, that's why we on this show do not drink any of the major brands. Now, when it comes to vodka, I cannot speak for Brett. Because he
nothing major about the vodka I have.
That's pretty much minor. All right.
It is practically made in a hotel bathtub. That's the quality of vodka that I drink, primarily because I mix a shit. Come on. Why would I buy Grey Goose if I'm just going to mix with Sprite? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pick and choose your battles. Like, all right, am I going to spend a lot of money on vodka, or am I going to spend a lot of money on beer? And for me, I spend money on really great beers. Really great beers.
Yeah, microbreweries all the way, 100%. I don't buy the big breweries anymore, except for maybe Sam Adams. That's about as big as I go.
Do Belgian, the Belgian beers made by monks count as microbreweries?
They're about as micro as they get, unless they've gone commercial at this point.
I mean, we're talking about some of the best beer in the world. They're actually done in small batches, so they can't be gigantic. Like Pyrat, that can't be done in gigantic batches. And even something like Le Fin de Mont, which is, Canadian Belgian ale, cannot possibly be like a gigantic corporation. I don't know. I haven't researched it. I'm pretty sure making money as an influencer eventually leads to butt play. I don't know. Maybe
we'll have to verify with 29 if that's the case later on.
I'm sure
I don't need to make that much money then.
I think he's going to deny butt plays involved there.
All right.
You drink vodka with Sprite? I don't. No.
Yeah.
Oh, Brett does. Yes. Brett does.
I mean, I know you mix yours with generic orange soda, but vodka Sprite, that's like, outside of vodka Red Bull, that's like the most well-known mixed vodka drink. Yes. What else do people mix vodka with? I mean, you can mix it with anything, really, but
I usually do ginger ale, but they are constantly out of ginger ale at the Myers that I go to. So I ended up having to buy...
Go back to Kroger.
I don't want to go to Kroger. Let's go Krogering. Remember their stupid commercial? I don't want to go Krogering. I really don't. So I go to Myers. That's where I do most of my shopping. They just never have it in stock. I don't know why.
Yes and no, Jordan. My vodka does come in a plastic bottle for the stuff I mix. And then we buy, generally speaking, the quote unquote high end Kirkland vodka, which is equivalent. They say it's made in the same distillery as Grey Goose, and it's pretty fucking closely equivalent.
Yeah.
So my wife makes martinis with it, and she doesn't bitch about it. So it's only like $21. Fuck it.
Best vodka I've ever had, and it was like $15.99 for a small bottle. Was who's the company in Bloomington?
For beer or liquor?
No, the distillery in Bloomington.
It's
oh shit, that shit was good. Like literally, I could drink it straight.
Jesus
That's how
Christ,
good that was. And actually, I got taken on a tour by the owner because I know the owner. So I am kind of biased in the fact
Oliver.
No, not Oliver Winery.
It's not Oliver? Oh.
No, it's a distillery.
Oh, distillery. Oh, no, I didn't know Bloomington had a distillery.
Yeah, they make vodka. They make gin.
Dragonfly. That's some good shit.
I'm not into IPAs. That's something I was into in college, and it's faded as I got older. Like,
it's because you're a little bitch.
No, because bitterness. Like, we having a bitch fucking bitterness battle? A BBB? Because I ain't into that. Just not into it. All right.
It's an acquired taste. It's a required taste. Bitter. It's a tough sell. This is a great beer, but it's bitter, and a lot of people are gonna be like, "Ew, gross." And
I'm not into bitter beers.
Your sailors, or
I left the the wars when they became the bitter beer wars.
Timothy, you watch your mouth on the show.
I'm more with Timothy. IPAs are ass. He's so right. Most of them are ass. It's like how much bitter. How can I create the bitterness?
My entire chat's against me. I'm not showing anymore, guys. Sorry. Jackie D says I can't taste the difference in vodka. Yeah, you really can't until you get really up there, and then it's smooth as shit.
Yeah, I can.
So
but all the generic brands,
crap, smooth.
Like there's a jump. There is a jump, and you got to be willing to pay the price for the jump because the jump is at about $30
minimum.
Right?
Minimum, yeah.
That's when you start noticing this shit's a lot better. So yeah, I don't waste a lot of time on vodka because I waste all my money on excellent beer. That's what I do. All right.
Why the fuck not at this point,
I mean, when you're buying a $16 bottle of beer,
right?
You're buying a $16 bottle of beer. Yeah, you're making an investment. I'm trying to cut down right now because I'm getting fat. Let's be honest. I put on some weight here. And I had a big event that I hosted last week, and I couldn't fit into my
snug
biggest...
around the midriff?
Yeah, my biggest coat jacket was a little too tight. Didn't used to be. Used to be a little loose. That's a little tight. That's scary. And I bent over, and I felt some threads getting loose on one of my pairs of fanciest pants that I had.
Timothy basically says that he'd love for people to make something other than IPAs, and that's a great point. A lot of breweries, especially micros, go heavy on the IPAs, and I'm all for it to an extent. But yeah, there has to be a variety. And it's like usually there's like an amber, there's a light, and then you get some random porter concoction. That's about it. And then it's like 5 IPAs.
Hats off to Taxman here in Indiana for creating a giant variety of different Belgian ales. They got the triple, they got the double, they got the quad, they got the shit with the juice in it or the cherries in it. Yeah.
And it's pretty fucking cheap, reasonably, for a micro.
And it's high in alcohol. It's like 9%. It'll fuck you up pretty fast. Yeah. All right, let's move on to soccer. SOCCAR. Soccer.
I thought that's all we were talking about was beer and wine and liquor, of course.
Oh, this is the Two Foodies show.
Two Foodies, yeah. Two Foodie for you.
Oh, here we go. We're going to jump straight into our main man.
We're talking about some American stuff, so let's talk about some American soccer coaches.
It's Betty on the Men in Blazers show.
Men in Blazers, yeah.
Who, we were Men in Blazers before Men in Blazers were Men in Blazers.
Thank you, Berlin, for that. I appreciate that. We will definitely be using that quote when we do our intro later.
Yeah, and we do need a new intro. That one's been
Well,
on
okay,
for
so the
about
intro,
8
what I would call
months.
like an intro video for our channel. So when people come to our YouTube channel, you know, there's a lot of people have like an automatic video that plays, and it's just going to be that. It's going to be they were the men in blazers before there were men in blazers.
I don't know if I really want to be called that.
We weren't called that. It's just they're saying that we were the original. We were the OGs.
That's true. We are. Yeah, we've been around the block. I think
Max, we're the OGs.
I think. Yeah. I haven't talked to Max lately. I hope he's all right.
Yeah, I've chatted with him a bit on Twitter from time to time, just commenting on some of his stuff.
I always wonder if on occasion
nice back and forth.
He watches the show when I rip him a new one. You know, in a nice way. I'm very nice to Max.
I feel like Max has thick enough skin that he can take it and roll with it. You know,
right.
We're not like, you're an idiot. Fuck you and your mother.
No.
You know.
Just basically said he was absolutely wrong about something. All right, so let's play it. Let's see what Betty has to say. Betty,
we're going to be an exciting, front-footed, dynamic team. Then we need a coach that displays and has got a history of displaying those behaviors within.
So that right there, at least, sounds like we're getting the Red Bull ball, right? More or less the concept, isn't it? It's on the front foot, pressing. We need a coach who can do the exact same thing.
And what the fuck's up with Fred Baker? I mean, he's like, yeah, man, why are you guys fucking pumping up Red Bull ball? No, we're not pumping it. We've been fucking trashing Red Bull ball. Like, in its essence, at least, if it's a the Red Bull sort of like dogma ball, I don't want to see that shit.
I'm still trying to figure out who Fred is. I'm still positive he's a puppet account.
Klopp doesn't even play that sort of gegenpress anymore. Everybody stopped playing that. Everybody's like, no, there needs to be some balance, right?
Yeah. So have you ever seen Gone in 60 Seconds, the movie? With Nicolas Cage, they steal cars.
No, I wondered if it was a porn, but okay.
that's off in 60 seconds.
No, I have not seen it. But
so the villain in Gone in 60 Seconds is like some British, or it has to be British. Yeah, he's British.
Mm-hmm.
British mobster-esque. You know, in the Bay Area, of course, because why not? And he looks exactly like Betty here.
No shit.
Like fucking spot. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was actually he's an actor who ended up coming to be a sports director instead.
Huh.
Looks just fucking like him.
All right. Did we really start this at the absolute beginning?
Yes, there's only 37 seconds here.
I thought there was more to this, but okay.
There might be, but this is the clip I found.
All right. Within, without. Okay. Let's do it.
In the game, is there a coach that has come into an environment or a club and has reduced the age of the team and developed players within that? And then for me, the biggest part of international football is...
What the fuck? Like, that's part of it? We're going to reduce the age of the team?
I don't know how that's possible unless we start a U17.
Well, we're not going to. But didn't Berhalter do just that? Or how about the other guy before him, Strachan? Didn't he do that? Sarakin, I'm sorry. That's Strachan.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. He definitely, yeah. And you remember the 2018 squad? Of course. How could you not reduce that age?
Yeah. So, I mean, does he count? I don't know. I don't like all these. I don't like that specific example there, because then the only guy we can be talking about right now is Berhalter, because he did reduce the age of the team. And I mean, can you think of another manager who just continues to reduce the age of the team? I mean, that's a pretty stringent requirement.
Jesse, Leeds with Jesse. I mean, how old is Sinistera in Somerville?
Mm-hmm.
So we know how old Tyler and
Nanto,
and they brought in McKenzie. They had Nanto. Basically, the back line was the aging aspect, and then Bamford, of course. Let's not forget Bamford.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know who the fuck he's talking about here, but it seems like a weird mix of requirements. Oh, I want to see something. Anyhow, but all right, I'm being critical.
Being a little critical.
Yeah.
Around leadership, player connections, building a program, setting the vision and the strategy for the team, working towards a World Cup, engaging.
Isn't that what he's supposed to do, though?
No, it's
like he's supposed to create the vision and all that shit? Isn't that
No. I think when you're talking about the team itself and how it's going to operate tactically and strategically, that's what he's talking about. He's not really going to be involved with that.
He could bring in a coach that aligns with his his plan. That's what I'm saying.
He's going to, but on a very broad basis. Well, maybe not so broad.
No,
maybe very specifically. Yes, going to play on the front foot. That sounds like gegenpress ball. Because we're not hearing the word possession here at all, are we? Tim Ream, yeah.
Reducing the age of the team is literally just removing Tim Ream, which in the Nations League coming up seems like that's likely going to happen because he's out with a fractured arm, shoulder.
Yeah, I thought his elbow
was it? Yeah.
Yeah, but they could tape that up and put a cast on it. He can go play with that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's probably not going to, but because Fulham have got nothing to gain for the rest of the season, there's no point in playing him.
Yeah,
but it was the weirdest.
It'd be nice to have him, but I mean, you wouldn't want a hindrance on an already slow center back. And if his arm's in a cast, I feel like his motion is even going to be more hindered. So fuck that shit.
We're not going to do that. The problem with him being gone is unless you bring Cameron Carter-Vickers,
who's injured as well.
Yeah, no, he played this weekend. Did he get injured?
I thought I've been reading on the twits.
No, he played Cup. He played the Cup.
Or is he going? They're talking about him doing surgery over the summer or something like that.
Maybe, but I mean, outside of Tim Ream, do we really have a center back who can play out of the back? Name me one.
Liking Richards.
Even Richards isn't that great at that. He's a little more advanced than like McKenzie or EPB, but God, we really don't, Brett.
I'm going with Richards on this, yeah.
Ream's the man. If you want to play out of the back or switch fields out of the back, Ream's all we got. He's all he got. Well, Brooks is a good call out. That's right, Larry. Brooks has been forgotten. And it's almost to the point now. It's like, is Brooks ever going to be asked back again? Even if he continues to play well with Hoffenheim for the rest of the season?
We got a new coach. It's possible, yeah.
Miazga ain't bad. He's pretty good with Cincy in that regard. But, yeah, just not a whole lot of really super accurate passers out of the back, center back spots.
We should bring in Long and Zimmerman again.
Man, I tell you, if Long plays again.
Ever.
I just think.
I mean, there's at least five or six center backs in Europe that I would rather play and help. I would rather play a Cannon as a center back.
Let's not go that far.
I would over Long. Yes,
over Long. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
all right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but even Reggie's back to playing right back now for Boa Vista. So yeah, they switched back to a back four, so he doesn't have to play right center back anymore. Aaron Long is good playing out with both feet. No, he's not at all. He's absolutely atrocious.
I think Long's biggest perk was the fact that he wasn't a slow foot.
No, he was he was pretty fleet of foot before his injury.
Yeah.
And he could cut on a dime. He was really good at covering empty space, but he's just not that player anymore. He's just not. It's over.
So, I think he was trolling you.
No, he was.
Larry says, let's go back to music. Fuck your opinions.
So, I mean, we'll see if Brooks gets another call. We'll see if those doors are still open. We'll see if Brooks continues. Let's say Brooks ends the season there at Hoffenheim and they're still up. They're out of the drop zone. He was part of making that happen. He had a pretty good end of the season. Yeah, started out rough, but had a good – I mean, is he going to get a call? Or is there more to this story, just like we've always said, than we know about? So Look at his face. He's got engaging up there, yeah. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And staff, they've got to get as much of a buzz from that as they do with coaching every day. And then finally, I want to make sure that we have what I call a legacy coach. So I call it a coach on their way up rather than on their way down.
What?
Okay. So that's a little bit different from how you were like describing the legacy aspect beforehand. He wants a coach that's rising.
All the way up.
And not just coasting his way down.
He wants a coach that's getting erect. He doesn't want a coach that's kind of getting floppy, you know? I don't know. That's a very specific trait. I mean, is Jesse Marsch on his way up? Because he didn't seem like it when he was at Leeds, and it didn't seem like it when he was at Leipzig. It doesn't seem like Berhalter's a coach on the rise. So who are we fucking talking about here? Because it can't be, you know, I don't know. That's a really good. It makes it even more just baffling. Who's he talking about here?
What's the other
who's on the
from,
rise?
Southampton. What's it? Hasselhelmet or whatever.
No, he's not there anymore.
Well, what's his name though?
Hassan. God damn it! Fucking brain dead old man.
We have Trundle as an option. He's on the rise.
Hassan Hutel.
Thank you.
Hassan Hutel.
Hassan Hellman said.
Right. Yeah, Trundle would fit most of these descriptions so far.
Mm-hmm.
To be really honest with you. Hassan Hutel. Yeah, I got it, guys. Sorry. Brain fart momentarily. It came.
And I just aim to fuck up names.
So Hassan Hutel is not really on the way up. He hasn't had a job for a while.
Big Sam's not available for a coaching stint with the United States national team.
But he will be available for Leeds in about 24 hours.
24 hours.
And this is so funny because Big Sam was on whatever show it was, can't remember it was, saying, you know, I could keep Leeds up. He was just about 2 weeks ago he was saying that. And here's how you do it. I don't know how Sam turns. This is what he usually does. He goes to a team. He makes it impossible for the other team to score by basically
step in the right direction.
Bunkering. Well, no, here's the problem. Leeds doesn't have the player pool to play that way. You just look at how Gracia has tried to play a mid block, and it's been a disaster. Can you imagine playing?
How's the mid block been worse than the high block? That doesn't make any sense to me. But we'll get to
no,
this.
I think the farther they drop back, the worse it's going to get.
you keep applying the pressure in their offensive third that you don't give your defensive third a chance to fuck up.
But that's how Big Sam did it at Bolton. How many 1-0 wins did they have from a corner kick? You know, that's how he kept Bolton up for all those years. Besides his favorite player, I can't remember his name, but yeah,
they'll keep Bamford in the box and just lob crosses to him all day long.
I mean, you look at Sam Allardyce's stretch of 8 games, it'd be 0-0, 0-0, 0-1, 1-0, 0-1, 0-0, 1-0, 0. It's your
but his team was in that match the entire game though.
Playing defense. Yes, playing defense. All right, what do we got? I don't know about this legacy thing, so we'll just leave it there. I don't really understand what the fuck he's talking about. How many years do you need to form a legacy? 4, 8, 12? A legacy.
I'm a one cycle fan here, Derek. So it's definitely going to be a 4-year for me, or else or Ryan.
Are we going to do what Germany did and have a Joachim Löw there for centuries?
I guess if we herald the same success, sure, I guess why not? But I'm a one cycle purist.
I know you are, and so was before he lost all his morality and his principles. Lawless was a one cycle guy too.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're more principled than he is, so you're going to stick with it. Whereas Lawless is sort of a flapping in the breeze sort of guy. He can change on a dime. His principles, they're manipulable. They're malleable.
Let's say Jesse comes in and he wins the World Cup in 2026. I'm still going to be like, that's good job, Jesse. Go find a Euro gig. We need somebody else in now.
That ain't happening. All right.
It's not going to happen, I know. But
it's not going to happen.
It won't happen either way. It's not going to happen. He's not going to win the World Cup. And it's not going to happen that if he wins the World Cup, he's not going to get re-signed.
No. I mean, if he wins the World Cup, he's going to get re-signed. There's no doubt about
100%.
it. If he makes the semi,
I'd be that random psycho in the street yelling, "Fire him now! Don't re-sign him!"
If he makes the semis, he's getting fucking re-signed. I guarantee it.
100%.
Might even be re-signed making the quarters. All right.
Sure.
That's how flexible U.S. Soccer will probably
Peralta
be.
might have been re-signed after his knockout stage if all of this shit didn't come down.
Well, that was the talk, but it burned down the house, so at least that happened.
Yeah.
The house needed to be burned down and rebuilt, and we'll see how this, Betty Crocker guy does. I mean, it's still early in the game. He's still going on shows and he's talking a lot of gibberish instead of like being really kind of human and normal and just talking about soccer in a way that, isn't full of, talking points. And I'm not saying it's fancy language. I'm saying it sounds dogmatic. And that's okay, I guess. I don't know. We'll see how flexible this guy is. Transfer rumors.
Not sure why did Morse code ever become the intro to transfer news?
I don't know.
There was something coming over the wire, like, all right, let's see, Pepe being sticking with Augsburg.
Most motherfuckers don't even know what that is, Morse code. The younger generation doesn't. They don't even know what one of those rotary phones. That shit's like. So you have to stick your finger in the hole, and then you pulled it, and then
you gotta wait for it to come back around,
and then you pulled the next number. Are you kidding? No, seriously, that's how it works. Very weird shit. Augsburg GM Stefan Reuter continues to make it clear on the Ricardo Pepe transfer rumors. There is no offer. Instead, there was a call last week. We had a very good conversation with Ricardo Pepe and his agent. The plan is still return of Pepe. So there you go, in German. I spoke in German for you all to understand. I said this the other week. Why is Pepe refusing to go back to Augsburg? Like, Augsburg's going to survive. They're going to be still in the Bundesliga next season. Obviously, they need someone to score goals because that's the problem they have.
My guess is that he didn't enjoy his time there. He found success on a bottom tier team in Holland and is garnering interest. And he's like, no, I want to leave. Because maybe he didn't feel wanted at Augsburg. I don't know. Who knows? After this phone call, maybe
the whole idea of going to Holland and playing for that shitty team, Groningen, was for him to have playing time under his belt, so he would be called up for the World Cup.
Womp womp.
And Augsburg was nice enough at the time to work with his agent to make it happen. It's like they could have been stubborn and said, no, you're staying here. You're coming off the bench. We need a goal scorer. And you're going to play 10 minutes of every game for the rest of the season. But
I don't even think that's a thing. I don't even think that was the thing. Like he was struggling for playing time.
He would have eventually gotten more.
Well, he might have eventually, yes. But at the time when the push was like, hey, I want to make this World Cup team. I need to get playing time.
Right.
You're not going to play me, shit me off so I can get playing time.
Yeah,
now, what he should have
at the time, he was only going to get 5 or 10 minutes a game.
Yeah, he should have left it off and get his playing time, and then then the idea would be to come back to Bundesliga. Obviously, rolling with confidence. He's competing up there with the goal scorers of the league. How many? What does he have? Like 15 or goals or whatever?
I don't know.
It's some ridiculous amount for
got
being the team that he played for.
But he played in the worst team in Holland, Groningen. And now you're going back to what is not the worst team in the Bundesliga. It's got to be an improvement.
Well, going back to Bundesliga, period, is an improvement.
Yes, the standard's going to be higher. They need him. It's obvious after the season. They're one of the lowest scoring teams in the Bundesliga. They need somebody to score. And they're not completely incompetent, Augsburg. You want to see incompetent, go watch fucking Hertha. That's a fucking joke of a team in the Bundesliga. All right. They're horrible teams. They're not the second worst. They're not even going to be, they're not even really in the relegation general area.
This can actually be a good thing. And maybe this is what they projected to him and his agent, saying, hey, struggling for scoring goals. You're booming with confidence.
Oh, he's talking about Groningen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He meant Groningen second worst. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
not Augsburg. He's right.
Yeah.
They're definitely one of the worst teams in Holland. There's no doubt about
it. Yeah. Basically, he's like, hey, come back to Augsburg. We need a goal scorer. You'll get more playing time, guaranteed, and go from there. Maybe he needed this bout of confidence boosting in Holland to come back to Bundesliga.
And there's no way Augsburg's going to get their money back if
no.
they sold him. They're going to be selling at a loss. What are they, stupid? They're not stupid. They're going to butter his loaf, and they're going to talk nice to the agent, and they want him back.
Well,
I said it 2 weeks ago. He's going back.
They've got one of two options. They've got one of two options. Either they play him, he does well or bad, and we go from there. Whether they sell him later on for a profit or a loss, probably going to be a loss regardless. Or they just sell him for a loss now. So you might as well bring him back. Again, he's moving with confidence, and you play him a bit, and you go from there.
You just watched him play with one of the worst teams in the history.
Put him in the box, he'll score goals.
The Dutch league, and he's scoring goals with zero service. So, put him back in the Bundesliga. In Augsburg, where he will get a little more than zero service, maybe a 1 or 2 on a scale of 10. And maybe, he'll score more goals for you. I don't know why Augsburg would get. If I'm Augsburg, I'm not giving up on this kid. I just watched him do the remarkable, which is play on a fucking horrendous team and be one of the leading scorers in Holland. Now, if Ajax wants to bust out the cash, or Feyenoord, or one of the bigger teams in Holland want to bust out cash, I don't even think they're willing to bust out the kind of cash that Augsburg would need to recoup loss. So it ain't going to happen. He's going back to Augsburg. I said it 2 weeks ago. I'm staying by my word. And now we're starting to see that, at least in the news, come to be true.
Yeah.
Giving myself a little,
Hey, did you hear that McKenzie scored a goal this week?
Yes, I did. Second goal in 2 weekends.
So, he scored, looks like he scored Yanks' second goal against Bruges. Mm-hmm. But did you also know that he assisted his own goal?
What? Who is this posting this?
McKenzie. No, this is Foot Mob. Foot Mob did this.
It's
Grant Tripperville that posted this. But it's Foot Mob. Like
Foot Mob's
Mark McKenzie scores.
They're totally drunk.
He gets an assist.
I mean, just look at their scores of players in certain games. You're like, what game did they fucking watch? That's just horrible.
So I responded, I'm like, if you beat the keeper and pass it across the 6 and then quickly run to the other side and tap it in, would that be assisting your own goal? Is that how it happened?
It's not. It'd still be just a goal. But, it's kind of like...
McKenzie passes to himself and scores.
It's kind of like that one NBA player who needed like 13 rebounds to have the rebound title. So he would get the rebound, and then he'd chuck it up against the board and go grab it again and get another rebound to get an extra rebound. I mean, at some point, All right, so good for Mark McKenzie.
BMR says McKenzie should not go to Leeds. Somebody said it. Oh, here you go.
No.
Juan Salazar says he should go to Leeds.
Yeah, I don't think they want any more Americans at Leeds. If you've been watching the comments on Connor's show or Joe's show or Casey's show, they're done with Americans because they're pissed as hell at McKennie, and they think that, Aronson is a lightweight, which he has been.
Well, the pit stop McKennie has some to do with his performances. There have definitely been some bad performances in there, followed up with some good performances there.
And we're going to get into that game. And I think the Leeds, I'm now a Leeds fan. I think they've lost their way here. I think they lost their shit is what I'm saying. And we'll get into why here in a second. Let's finish off what you got here.
Yeah.
People should be excited about what's happening in Venezia over the last couple of months. They've only lost 3 of their last 15 with Testament at the heart of it all. You are absolutely right. Football is life.
In his last 3 matches, he's had 1 goal and 2 assists. It's pretty fucking solid.
He was great today again.
Yeah.
So he's become the heart and soul of that team.
He had 1 assist, and he only got rated by the goal scorer who had 4 goals.
That's saying something. But no, Tessman has really become the heart and soul of that team, and they have gone from bottom dwellers back when Bucio was starting to near the top or mid-table, and they're looking at getting in that final 8 spot now. If they've got 3 games to go, if they win 2 of those 3, they're probably into the playoffs. So, we'll see what happens. But
John's
it'd be nice
asking you, Derek, what about Bucio?
Yeah, Bucio's a bench warmer for the team. He comes in for 13, 12 minutes a game, basically at the end of the game when they're already winning 3-0, 2-0. He's not a starter. He's not going to be a starter. He started occasionally, but he's mostly a bench dude. And Novakovic, same thing. He gets 8 minutes a game.
7-8 minutes. But yeah, so I mean, Tessman's been playing consistently for the last.
Oh yeah, like I said, heart and soul of the team.
And he's been doing incredibly well. And Venezia, who we had written off early on in the year,
because they were bad.
They're bad. They're going to get relegated again. They got a new coach apparently, and we don't follow Venezia. At least I don't follow Venezia.
It's hard to watch them. Occasionally they'll be on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, it's kind of like Championship. Yeah.
But it's been 2 games. I've watched 2 games all season.
Look, Venezia is 1 point out of playoff. Because, much like MLS, they have almost half of their teams in a fucking playoff.
It's crazy, isn't it? So the top 2 auto promote. And what's really funny about this as well, and it's that Novakovic played for Frosinone for 3 seasons.
Yeah, look at that,
He leaves, and now they're getting fucking promoted. So the top 2 make it auto, and the next bunch play some fucking tournament to decide who goes up. So crazy.
That's a big bunch. But look, I guess this is what I just realized now. Look at the goal differential here. 33, 24. Well, Barry has 21. And then all of a sudden it's 4, 5, 9, 9, 9, 3, 5, -5, 1. What a massive decrease that is on the goal differential. Yeah. Clearly there have been just some dominating teams, which you can clearly see on the points. But
well, in some cases, it's kind of crazy seeing Cagliari down there because so many years they were playing in the top flight of Serie A. So it's kind of weird seeing them down there. Genoa, Palermo on occasion was up in the top group.
Spall's
Spall. Yeah, not good.
Benevento in there? Or Benevento?
Benevento?
Were they recently at Serie A recently? God, name sounds familiar.
Maybe. I don't know. I just remember the old days. I haven't really watched a lot of Serie A since...
With 4 fucking goals.
Michael Bradley was there, right? That's the last time I watched a lot of Serie A. I did before then. I did... anyhow. The whole point is that Venezia are doing really well. And what about Bucio? Bucio's not doing very well. He is not even close to a star player, and he's not a starter on that team. And like I said, again, you don't have to give up on Bucio if you don't want to. So you don't have to listen to me. But I did in our write them off series. I wrote him off.
Coates wrote him off. Absolutely,
yeah. Jasper Redican, isn't Serie B one of the weakest second divisions of the top 5 countries? I would answer that with an absolutely yes. France second division isn't very good either.
What about the Portuguese second division?
Not very good either.
Yeah, horrible. I was going to say you can't. We're kind of splitting hairs when we're talking about the worst second division, right. of the top 5.
I mean, and even Spain's second division is nothing different. But it's Spain, 2 Bundesliga, championship out of those 3. It goes championship to Bundesliga, Spain. Then maybe France.
I really think we're splitting hairs when we talk about those last.
Italy,
after the first 2, I think think championship and Bundesliga 2. And then after that, you're really splitting hairs.
Well, there's no doubt the championship is better than Bundesliga 2. I don't think there's any doubt. To me, there is no doubt. That is a much more it's kill or be killed. Bundesliga is a little more chill. It's not like your legs are going to get broken playing into Bundesliga. You worry about when you watch some of these championship games. It's frenetic. Unless you're watching Norwich, then it's just boring as fuck.
It's also frustrating as fuck because you're watching.
Yes.
You're like maybe with Sargent doing as well as he is, a potential, or a potential championship team that's going to move up the following year might take a bit on him.
Well, I should have kept Dean Smith. That's all I can say. Of course, Dean Smith's now with Leicester. They're trying to keep them up. But I mean,
failing upward.
They were in sixth. And I realized
he's with Leicester now.
I believe so. I understand the Dean Smith. They were like seeing him drop from like first down to second, down to third, down to fourth, down to fifth, down to sixth, and they were getting worried. But what Wagner's done with this team, David Wagner, has been atrocious. It's been bad. So, and I hate to say that, but since Wagner was in the Premier League or got himself promoted into the Premier League, and he left the Premier League, when he went back to Schalke, they were shit, and they remained shit while he was there. He went to Switzerland. Even though Young Boys won the league, they had a drop off in performance that was very visible and obvious. So he got fired from that job. It's been bad. He's in a slump right now.
BMR backs you up, says that Dean Smith is with Leicester. How do you go from a failing team in the championship, like from a team that was consistent? Well,
Dean Smith's got a rep.
But he fell back, and then all of a sudden I guess if you're a failing team in the EPL, you kind of go with whomever's available that has a history, I guess.
Yeah, Dean Smith's got a decent rep. And who else are you going to hire? You're going to hire Jesse Marsch?
They tried.
Because guess what? Dean Smith and he knew it when he took the agreement that he was just there to save Leicester, and it was not going to be a job he was going to keep after that.
It looks like he might do his job though.
Well, we can go through that, but yeah, there's a chance he could keep them up, but right now, I don't think so.
Chris Gary for $1.99 says, "Cheers, Busio's finished."
Yeah, cheers to you, Chris, brother. Thank you. We love you. All right. What else we got? Sean Brooks. This is very good. If it's true that Pochettino wants to keep Pulisic, then I think he would see him as fit in the Eriksen Neymar role, which is great use of him. Mudryk is more of the Son Ali role. Not Dele Ali. That guy's dropped off the planet. Interesting stuff. Yeah, Sean, I wouldn't put too much stock in the rumors that Pochettino has some sort of infatuation with Pulisic. I understand that that's gone around the block, but this team's so fucked up right now. Chelsea is so fucked up. They're gonna have to sell some dudes, and they're overloaded. And I just think that Pulisic, is he going to sit there again and hope, oh, please, may the next coach like me? Please play me, coach. I think he's got to go somewhere where he knows the coach wants him and the coach wants to play him. And there's no guarantee of Pochettino's taking this Chelsea job.
And as I've said with Pulisic at this point, I don't fucking care what team he goes to at this point. It's fuck Champions League. Just go to a team that's going to consistently play you. The rumors that, with Newcastle wanting him for the longest time, obviously it'd be cool with that because obviously they're doing pretty well for themselves. They're moving in the right direction.
Yes.
But on top of that, if it's anybody else, I really don't care. If they're looking at a mid-table English Premier team, by all means, go there. If you're consistently going to play, I don't care.
Hey,
but
I know Williams.
Maybe get 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes. Who knows?
I know Williams an old man, but his time at Fulham has been spectacular, and he's getting older. I don't see any reason why Fulham wouldn't want. They couldn't afford him probably, or
I was going to say, would they be willing to pay for it?
Yeah. Well, he's going at a discount. There's no doubt. A lot of these Chelsea players are going to have to be sold at a discount, not a 5-finger discount, but a discount, a lot lower than they were signed for because Chelsea overpays for everybody. And a lot of these guys are just shite, or they're not shite. I don't know what the problem is because I really don't understand what's going on there and why the players have no fucking honor. Do they have no self respect? They just go out there and play like garbage. And they're some of the highest paid players in the world.
Mm-hmm.
How do you have a roster like that be such garbage? I don't know, because Potter's not a total imbecile. Lampard is maybe close to one, but he's not even that horrible. And at some point, you got to look at the players and go, you fucked Potter, and Frank did better with a much thinner bunch of options when he was there the first time.
Much thinner, yes. But you had a squad that was diehard. I mean, you had a squad that was fight for the badge, if you will.
Yeah, a lot of guys that have been around. Conte, I mean, they had core guys that have been there a while.
A handful of guys who were starters that came up through the whole Chelsea.
Only one.
So.
Only one. Only one.
Which one?
Nick.
I mean, outside Mount.
Yeah,
Abrams. Tammy.
Yeah,
Tammy,
but
Tammy scored many a goal for Lampard.
But Tammy, I mean, even when I was watching this, I was never really blown away by Tammy Abrams. Now,
oh sure, no, he was nothing special, but
he's done better in Italy.
Roma. Yeah, he's doing good at Roma.
Doing better in Italy, but it's a lower level. Lower level. Yeah, I mean, you're playing the bottom. The bottom of Serie A is complete garbage. Let's be honest. The bottom 8 teams are horrible in Serie A right now. So there you go. So if you can score a lot of goals on those bottom 8 teams, it's going to make you look really good if you're on Roma, right? I still don't rate Tammy.
Doesn't really help Juve.
But Juve got all their points back. So looking good now. Yep. Are you anything else you want to cover before we get into Leeds?
No, actually, we're jumping right into it. So I wanted to start with the obvious fun topic with Leeds, because we're going to get into some not so fun topics.
Right.
So I wanted to talk about Diego's bet on Leeds versus Bournemouth.
Man, I hope he canceled that bet as soon as he posted it up. I mean, you really going to blow $10,000 on this team? On this Gracia led team? Who leaked 15 goals in the month of April?
I'm really hoping that Diego canceled this bet.
I hope he did.
I hope he did it just for a laugh, a troll. Because, oh my God, really?
It says pending. It says pending.
Well, the bet's always going to pend until the game starts.
Yeah, I hope he erased this. He's like, no, second thought, no. And I hope he didn't have some call with Wes, and was like, yeah, we're going to win this fucking game. I'm all in. And then he made his bet because,
Chris Gary says that he said that he's going to do it again on Saturdays versus Man City. So before
he's just pissing away money.
So before the show started, he had a space on Twitter going on, and he had talked about how they're gonna beat Man City. They're gonna beat Man City because Man City's already looking towards the next Champions League match, et cetera, et cetera. And they're gonna overlook Leeds, and Leeds is gonna come out. And I really think at this point, Diego is kind of trolling in an anti way, rather than just saying oh, Wes is counting the minutes until he's on. I think now he's like, dude,
he's overcompensating.
Leeds is gonna win 5-0 against the league champs right now.
He's overcompensating.
I think it's all a fucking troll. And
he's overcompensating.
I'm hoping this bid was a joke, and he canceled it afterwards. Because man, that's a hefty bid.
That's like, let's say you got this girlfriend, right? And you kind of get caught one night hanging out with this other chick that you really, really have the hots for, but you're not really sure that's going to work out. And then your girlfriend catches you in the act. And so then you got to go home and tell her how much you love her and give her the old hot sausage treatment, right? Mm-hmm. And not only that, you probably got to, go down and do a lot of attentive clitoral attention in order to make up for the fact that you just got busted hitting on some hot chick who's a lot hotter than your girlfriend. But you know what? You don't want to lose that girlfriend because she's not bad. She's kind of annoying maybe, but you know what? She still looks good enough. You really were trying to. Anyhow, the point is, don't overcompensate. There's no point in dropping 10 dimes on fucking Leeds. They're going to lose, dude. They're going to lose against Man City too.
If there was ever a bet to be made, I mean, I guess if you're playing the odds, you'd want to make that bet against Man City, because if you're willing to lose 10K, you're going to do it against a team that you are going to have the best odds for a win. You know,
I'd say go hang out with the hot chick. Don't go hang out with your ugly girlfriend. All right. Let's see. Leeds could sack head coach Javi Gracia after internal talks on Monday. And when they say internal, they mean up Gracia's asshole. It looks the most likely solution, as direct discussions took place in what they called their emergency meeting in the last 24 hours. Sam Allardyce, of all clowns, is the favorite candidate to become the new manager. Oh my God. That would be hilarious. I would love it if Big Sam took over. That would be fucking fun, because Sam's going to try to play a deep block and hit on the counter and score on set pieces. He's not going to worry about like having possession or, you know, playing a mid block. He's just going to pack the fucking, you know, his own end with like a 4-4-2 or a 5-4, whatever. I mean, it's going to be a packed defensive setup for big old Sam. And now you're bringing up the Marsch stats. So let's get into this for a second. And I get it. Okay. So I'm using Connor, the One's Lead fan guy, and Joe, just Joe Football, Joe. I'm using their own commentary against them here, because they're the ones who pushed Marsch out. And when he was pushed out, you and I said, okay, I understand why he's got to go. It's a total upheaval. The fans are completely against him. The crowd is against him. He's lost all support. Whether or not he'd actually lost the locker room or not, that's another story. We don't know.
And a month leading into his actual sacking, you were even saying, dude, he's on a hot seat. Every match, he's on a hot seat. It's going to happen soon. It was really unfortunate, though, that after he made all of his winter signings, that he got sacked the very next match. But
yeah, didn't even get to ease into the whole McKenzie being on the team thing, and it hasn't really helped Leeds that Adams is injured either. But the point being that when Jesse was the manager, and Joe and Connor have both said this. All right, they both said, there's nothing Gracias can do because this whole roster was built for Jesse Marsch. No shit. Then you might as well just let Jesse Marsch play out the season, because this roster was built for Jesse Marsch, for his high press ball. You're not going to be able to turn this group of players into a low block or even a mid block team. Obviously not, because they've been playing mid block. They're getting fucking killed. 6-1, 4-1, 5-1. They're getting slaughtered. But when Jesse was coach, at least the games were close. At least you had a shot at beating a big team like Liverpool, because he did beat Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
Now
I'd even throw Chelsea in there, but I guess Bournemouth is probably bigger than Chelsea.
Chelsea's just dropped off the face of the planet since then.
Who hasn't been Chelsea?
But back then, when they beat Chelsea, Chelsea were not thought of as garbage yet, right? That was later, after the transfer window, that they became absolute garbage. I think it was, in hindsight, probably a mistake to not just play out the season with the players that Jesse wanted playing Jesse ball, because you cannot transform this team into anything else. The players don't work, and especially without Adams, they don't work.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So the whole other game playing without Adams there. The Leeds Rock says sacking Jesse wasn't a mistake. Both managers are bad. Jesse.
No, I get it. They're bad. I get that Marsch was. When he got sacked, we all said, yeah, sure. I totally understand.
We're given a couple more matches, but we understand,
We totally understood.
Yeah.
The fans had turned against Jesse. The board was turning against Jesse. The 49ers were asking for Jesse to be sacked too. So I get why he was gone. But now looking at what we got and where we are as Leeds, you might as well just hung on to Jesse because you got a lot better chance beating Newcastle, Tottenham, or Manchester City with Jesse because Jesse's teams performed better against better teams. They underperformed against lesser teams. We can all agree on that. But when it came to playing better teams, he was competitive at least. And now
go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say, right now, you're looking at these last 4 games for Leeds. We got Newcastle, Tottenham, Manchester City, who's up next, and West Ham. The only team that's beatable out of those is right now in the current state. I wouldn't even say West Ham's beatable because that looks like a tie to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because West Ham sucks. They're garbage too, but Leeds is looking like the worst
West
team.
Ham vying for a Europa spot? Am I mixing them up with somebody else?
I don't think so. I don't think they're vying for a. I think they're near the.
No,
the
you're right. You're right. I was thinking of Aston Villa. No, I wasn't thinking of Aston Villa. I mean, I was thinking of Aston. Well, whatever.
No, West Ham's down there.
I was completely wrong with West Ham. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, they're down there.
Yeah.
So West Ham's like the only place you're going to pick up 3 points, and that'll be I don't know where that falls in their schedule. It's the last game of the season. Anyhow, it's looking rough. You're going to lose to Newcastle the way we're playing now. You're going to lose to Tottenham the way Leeds is playing now. You're going to lose to Manchester City the way they're playing now. And you're probably going to tie at best West Ham. That gives you 1 point for the rest of the season. But with Jesse Marsch, you've got a shot against Newcastle, Tottenham, and Manchester City because Jesse Marsch's teams overperformed against better teams and underperformed against shitty teams. Like, you would legitimately think there was a chance that Jesse could pull something out of his ass and get a win against Tottenham or Newcastle. Not necessarily Manchester City. But you'd think there would be a small chance something could be pulled out of his ass. But right now, it looks hopeless. It looks hopeless.
Just going through the numbers real quick with Gracia. He's only been in the helm for 12 games. But in those 12 games, he's had 30 goals scored against him. These are all EPL games. These aren't cup games by any means.
Yeah.
But 30 goals against, 15 goals for.
Yeah.
He's got every match his team has leaked in 2.5 goals. And he's only scored 1.25.
Yeah.
And his 3 wins have been against Southampton, Wolves, and Forest. So
and
the team that Jesse couldn't.
And Jesse's only gave up 1.6 goals. As bad as that defense is.
Yeah.
He wasn't getting wiped off the face of the planet.
Almost Leeds, 1 less goal a match, yeah.
In April, Leeds gave up a record amount of goals for a premiership team in a month. That is a fact. That's horrible. Like, that wouldn't have happened under Jesse. I don't think it would have. Because we would have pressed with Jesse. We would have made it hard. The only way teams are scoring are getting us on the counter. But we would have pressed up high on the field. But this is a good point, too. Adam's injury.
Diego, we talked about your 10K bet. Was that legit? Did you lose 10K this past weekend?
You are nuts, my brother. You are nuts. I hope you didn't push confirm on that. So yeah, we dropped off the fucking cliff. That is a good point with Tyler Adams. But yeah, because Tyler's covering that back 4, and obviously Roca and McKenzie have been poor. Outside of 1 or 2 games, McKenzie's been poor. Outside, Roca has just fallen off a cliff too. And here's the other thing. You can't ask this team to play a 4-2-3-1. It's not doable. You need 3 midfielders. You see how much fucking ground that Roca and McKenzie have to cover in the game in the midfield? Are you fucking kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
It's not doable by normal human beings.
Too much of a massive void. And I will say, having watched the Bournemouth match, I mean, McKenzie was playing higher up than Roca for most of the match.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they Leeds front office decided to watch our show and said, hey, McKennie needs to be in and around that box. And like, hey, maybe you should play McKennie in and around the box. But yeah, clearly there's still just a giant void in the midfield.
But then again,
it has to be met somewhere. I don't know what it is.
Who do you play in the midfield? Forshaw, McKennie, and Roca together? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Now, if Adams were there, that would make sense. That way, you give Adams and Roca play side by side. They got the more defensive responsibilities. You allow McKennie to play a more offensive midfield role. Problem solved. But it seems like, here's the other thing, Brett, that's distressing. Alex Better, $2. Thank you, Alex. We really appreciate it. Those Leeds channels are toxic. I'll pop champagne. I really don't find Joe. Let's start with Joe. Is Joe toxic? Well,
huge fan
I don't.
of word, but
That's a bad word. I think Joe's just wrong sometimes, and I think Connor can be over emotional. And
I was going to say there's a great word for it, is over emotional.
Yeah, and I think the other guy, KG, is more balanced. He's less emotional, but he's still hurt. He's a hurt person by this performance, and I get it. But if you watch that game, you can't possibly say that Leeds players didn't come out and give their fucking heart and soul. They were busting their balls that first half. They were fighting. They weren't just giving up. They were going to just lay down. They fought. They didn't come out and just give up. Like, I keep hearing that. I'm like, that's not the game I watched. I saw guys try. Maybe they stopped trying for the last 10 minutes or the last 8 minutes, but they tried. They were just poor. So you can't mix those things up. Like, they played poorly. All right, but it wasn't because they didn't try. Bamford was giving it his all. He's just not very good. I don't know what I'm trying to think about. Like, was McKennie just lounging it out there? No, I don't think he was. I think he was trying really hard. People said he ghosted. I didn't see it. I didn't see Roca ghost either. I just saw him have a really shitty game. I don't think that's because they don't care. I think a lot of those players care. I think they just played like shit. And that's demoralizing. Yeah, you're going to see some dropped heads because they know how important that game was, and they fucking blew it. You know? So, generally, I love listening to Joe and Connor and KG. I love watching all their shows to get their points of view from a real purely emotional standpoint most of the time for Joe and Connor. And they've been a lot right about a lot of technical things and the trades and the transfers. They're absolutely right about overpaying for Rudder. There's no doubt about it. The only thing I couldn't see watching that game today, or not today, this weekend, was a lack of effort. I didn't see a lack of effort. I saw a horrible goalkeeping. I saw some horrible mistakes. I did see McKennie turn his back on that goal, and maybe he should have kept going forward and maybe got a foot up or something. I don't know, but still, that was a great shot. It was a great goal. Mellier's goal was just a fucking giveaway, and that guy probably needs to see the bench. Needs to be replaced by somebody else like Robles. Put him in. Mellier's mind is torched. He has no confidence left. So, I don't know. I didn't see a team that didn't give a fuck, is all I'm saying. I saw a team that was really fighting hard for most of the game, and once it really looked like they were fucked, they gave up, like, at the very end. But I thought they fought hard for at least 75, 80 minutes. Then they gave up. I don't know. Anybody disagreeing with me there?
We were down, 3-1, well, prior to that part of giving up. So I felt like most of the giving up occurred right around that third goal.
Yeah, that's when they were like, yeah, this shit's done.
Yeah.
Right? And then the fourth goal. Oh, Jesus.
But going off
insult to injury.
Going off the players giving up, Barney here says, whatever happened at halftime against Palace has almost destroyed what Gracia was getting out of the team.
We've heard a lot of this, Barney. We understand there was some sort of confrontation between McKennie and, what was it, Ailing or somebody?
Roca and Ailing, yeah.
I don't think that. Listen, have you ever been in a locker room?
Diego, and I have his tweet pulled up here, but Diego even specified that McKennie didn't get into any scuffle with
exactly. So we've read a bunch of tweets that made a big deal out of this. But honestly, even if there was an all-out fucking brawl, all right, listen, on my team back in the days, there were brawls, there were fights. People got in fist fights even on the team, arguments. But guess what? When it was time to play the next game, all that shit was put aside. You sewed that up because you had one vision, you had one goal, and that was to win the next game. And everybody put it aside. In fact, usually it's like, hey, dude, yeah, I'm sorry I said that about you. And yeah, let's make up and be friends. I mean, there was a fucking all-out brawl between.
It's because you guys weren't overpaid, pretentious dicks.
Maybe not, but
but yeah.
Chad McGowan and Towns Brownlee had a fucking brawl before one of our games.
You get into some fisticuffs and you go and drink a beer together. Mind you, maybe not in the high school level, maybe at the high school level actually. But anyways, Diego Dust says, "I got y'all on June 1st. I have clearance to speak then about this."
Okay, so yeah, Diego,
we'll find out some more information on it.
June, man, that'll be here before you know it because the last month flew fucking by. The other thing, so besides the players not caring, and we covered that because I don't think that's true. I think, in fact, they might care too much, and that's kind of hindering them. It's so much pressure. You can see it on their faces. You could see it in the way they can't operate the way they usually do. We talked about the fact that this team was built for Jesse. So just let Jesse run you into the fucking ground and take you to the championship because Xavi's going to do it anyhow. And then we kept people talking about, well, Bielsa, we should have kept Bielsa. No, I mean, we can't go that far back in time. That's done. It's over. Bielsa's gone, and he ain't coming back either. And then, okay, now everybody on the team sucks too. And I heard people saying, oh, the Americans, all these Americans are horrible. That's why we're losing. I don't think that's the reason we're losing either. Honestly, that's not what the problem is. The problem is we're playing it with two midfielders essentially, and everybody else is just dancing around. You can't continue to play a 4-2-3-1 when McKennie's natural position is not a holding midfielder. Yeah. That's not what he does. He's never really consistently ever played that position, and we're forcing him to play it every fucking game. He is more of a give this guy freedom kind of midfielder. Let him breathe. Let him go operate. Let him go make tackles up the field. You got now, there's no solution because Leeds fucked up. There is no like-for-like player for Tyler Adams on this team.
Yeah.
So Tyler Adams goes down. You're shit out of luck because you didn't sign another fucking central midfielder who can hold.
Fixing your setup as a whole, yeah.
Not to mention, you only signed Wober as your only sort of center back choice. Other optional choice. Christensen's been fucking just a piece of shit as a player, just totally garbage. And then you wasted money on Rudder when you could have brought in another center midfield. How many fucking wingers do you need on this team? How many fucking wingers?
Another striker at the very minimum, but I know where to play there. But
I've already been really critical of Aronson, so I'm not going into it again.
Mm-hmm.
He has been poor. He is going down too easily. He's really good in open space and finding open space and getting the ball and advancing up the field until he gets to the box. And then he becomes a child who has never touched a box before, and he trembles in fear when he reaches the box area. And that's even if he gets there, because usually he ends up on the ground and on the grass before that. Mike. Come on, Mike. What is that?
Hey, you're looking for a backup to Adams. There's a solid. It works for the United States. Therefore,
I don't think he solves that problem. You know what? You hold on to Phillips at Leeds because Phillips, the fatty, doesn't play for fucking Man City. He just rides pine, right? You hold on to Phillips. You got a like for like. In fact, you could play Adams for a stretch of 3 games, then give him a breather for 2 games and play fucking Phillips, right? They're different players. I understand that, but they can generally both play that sort of holding role. Phillips is probably a better passer. But you could actually play them side by side and give Roca more freedom, right? Could have done that too. But no, you sold off Phillips. I guess he wanted to leave anyhow.
Still, I mean, I know the season's almost over, but man, I don't understand Roca.
It's really weird.
Maybe it's been a season of him playing not really in a position that benefits his attributes, but there are moments of brilliance, and then there's moments of like
just shite.
God,
yeah, that last game.
Watching here,
in the words of Roy Kent, fuck. It's been bad. Willie Fistergash. God, Willie, Jesus Christ. Only a few more weeks left in the season from hell. I can't wait for the summer. Why? The summer's going to suck. There's no soccer except for
the point there would be is what I was alluding to in our tweet here is that the season's going to be over, and some players are going to be on the move, and maybe we're going to see a brand new start and a fresh start for some of our players.
Well, here are the players.
Desperately.
Here are the players with clauses to be released at Leeds. They include McKenzie, obviously, Adams. Aronson has one, but it's a little bit different. And more than likely, his ass is going to stay at Leeds. Probably so will Nanto, Somerville. I'd imagine they're going to hold on to some of these guys. Bamford, I mean, he's a fucking championship.
Given how much they paid for Nanto, they didn't pay that much for him. Surprisingly, with the amount of talent he brings.
I mean, right? if you want to pop right up, yeah, you got to keep him.
Sure, I agree, but I mean, they also have to think fiscally too. I imagine.
And
I mean, I know the 49ers backing him up, but
their problem fiscally is fecally and fistically, financially, is. Rudder. Rudder's going to be the most expensive guy you got to pay when you drop down to the championship. So
maybe he'll get his. Maybe he'll finally get some minutes.
And God knows he's probably got an escape clause too for being dropped down. And they paid $35 million for that guy.
Oh God!
And he doesn't play. So there's no. Deacon Clapcheeks. Are we reading this one too?
Yeah.
On the subject of brightening our day, I was hoping Derek could give me some hope for Leicester avoiding relegation after an exciting draw with Everton today. They still have Forest, Liverpool, Newcastle, and West Ham. Yeah, let's look at that real quick, right? Let's look at the bottom. Let's start with Southampton. Let's start at the very bottom, right? So Southampton have Fulham. That's not going to be a loss. They've got Liverpool. That's going to be a loss. They got Brighton. That's going to be a loss. And they got Nottingham Forest. At best, that's a tie, right? So Southampton.
Let's assume that's a win in that sense because they're still in the relegation even if they win against Nottingham.
But let's just say for Southampton's sake, that's a tie. The best they're going to get to at this point, point-wise, is 25 points, right? They're relegated. They're done.
Well, the best case scenario would be them beating Forest and it's still having 27 points and being relegated.
They're not going to beat Forest.
I'm just saying.
At best, they're going to hope for. I'm saying best case scenario for Southampton out of the last 4 games is 1 tie. That's it. So they're gone. Everton. They got Bournemouth. Probably a tie, maybe. Manchester, but more than likely a loss the way they're playing now. Man City, loss. Brighton, loss. Wolves, loss. Everton are done. They're done. Their goose is cooked. They're fucking horrible. And then let's look at Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest have Arsenal, loss. Chelsea, I don't know what to say. They could beat Chelsea.
Draw. Let's go with draw.
Southampton.
Well, I mean, they'll do good on defense, but scoring,
Southampton. They could win that game. They could beat Southampton. And Palace, they could tie or win against Palace. Honestly. So I'm thinking, I'm just going to throw out a number. I think Nottingham Forest gets to 32. Worst case scenario, right?
So 2
draws. Then we move up to Leeds. Leeds has got Newcastle, probably a loss. Tottenham, loss. Man City, loss. West Ham, they got to win that. That gets them up to what, 33 points?
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, Leicester. Leicester has Liverpool. That's a loss. West Ham, could be a win for them. I mean, if you get some Jamie Vardy action, that's what you're going to need, right? Newcastle's probably a loss. And then Fulham's vulnerable. Ream's out for the rest of the season. So that could be a tie. So there is hope for Leicester. There is a possibility that Leicester could get 4 points before this is all said and done and be fun. So that ends up being in your bottom 4. It might come down to differences between Leeds and Nottingham Forest. Let's say they both tie at, say, 34 points. Let's just throw out a number. You've got currently Nottingham Forest at minus 32 and Leeds at minus 24. Now, if Leeds continues to give up fucking goals the way they have been in the last 4 games, yeah, that goal difference is going to really close up. It's currently 8, but as we saw in April, Leeds gave up 15 goals in April. So
30 goals in the last 12 games, yeah.
It's going to be horrible if the trend continues. So my call is, it comes down to the last game of the season, and Leeds and Nottingham Forest are tied in points, and it's going to come down to goal difference. And that's who's going to get relegated. Because Everton and Southampton, they're fucking done. They're done. Their goose is cooked.
Yeah.
I know Leeds rock. I know that Southampton gave a fight to Liverpool. I agree. But I just think, they got to be demoralized because they fought, right? And they still came away with dick. So Wolves are hella bad, and Southampton seems to be getting their stuff together. I don't know how we can say Southampton are getting their stuff together. They played one good game. I wouldn't get too excited about that. If 47-year-old Jamie Vardy is your best bet, good luck. Hey, Jamie can wake up. He's got more juice in that. I think he's got more juice in the can. I really do.
You got to keep the game close and then bring him on for the last 20 minutes and pray to God that he gets something in there.
And I know Wolves are bad, but Wolves are at 37 points. They are clear from those bottom dwellers.
Yeah, so somebody else mentioned that Wolves. Here you go. Someone said it. It said Wolves have given up now that they're safe. Anyone can beat them.
Maybe so. There is pride, however. Nobody wants to lose to Southampton or Everton at this point. So I'm sick of taking a victory lap every week. Leeds have never looked this bad when Tyler Adams started. No, they haven't. Not even fucking close. Absolutely true. And Leeds were never this bad under Marsch. He can no longer be blamed for the relegation. Gracia has been worse. Sack the board. Suck of the board.
I was back in April 30th.
Suck of the board.
Then he continues.
I'm sick of Leeds. It angers me when I watch them. It makes me sick to watch them. The club is a mess. I mean, I've really become a Leeds fan. And so it's been hard to watch. They had no plans after sacking Jesse. They fucked up royally and can't see how they say up now. So if you've got no plans after Jesse, you might as well just swallow it and just keep Jesse in for the rest of the season because Javi's not working. I mean, this is all hindsight, obviously, but Javi's done no better. He's done worse. These games, they're getting kicked. They're getting slammed. They're getting smashed. They're getting mopped up.
And it's clear that obviously these massive drops in points and massive games where they're losing 4-5-0, 1-5-4-1, whatever.
Yep, 4-1, 5-1.
It all stemmed whenever Adams left. Adams got injured. You know, it was at that point all of a sudden.
Well, because you know what else they're missing with Adams? Leadership.
Yeah,
they got none on that team. Dick for leadership on that team. 0 leaders on that team. Javi. That's what I said, didn't I? Javi.
He's saying
Javi. Javi. All right. I'll overdo the H. Javi. Gracias. I'll work on it. All right. Thanks for clarifying. Just for clarification's sake, what are we doing here? The Naughty Cat Cafe. Not a strip club. I
love the fact that They have this Naughty Cat Cafe, and it looks just like any other random, strip
It doesn't
mall.
look like a strip club, though.
And he is like, not a strip
club.
Imagine people walking like, I thought this was a strip club.
Well, maybe you should have thought of that when you fucking named the place. Should I go over the Yanks abroad?
Yeah, might as well, because we're done with this.
All right. Hey, tell me when you notice a theme. McKenzie and Aronson lost.
I've noticed it.
Ream and Jedi lost. Balogun lost. EPB lost. Musa lost. Luca De La Torre and his team lost. Hey, Cannon lost in Portugal.
Yeah.
That's Sebastian Soto and Klagenfurt. They lost. Sargent in Norwich. They lost. Trusty in Birmingham. They lost. Hey, Mendez at Vizela. They lost. They played. He played, but yeah, they lost. Hey, Bello played 10 minutes and lost. Terrence Boyd played 90 and lost. Brian Reynolds went 90 and lost. Benji McKell for Aruca went 10 and lost. Johnny at International. I don't know how long he played, but they lost. Julian Green went 90 and lost for Firth. So that's the good news. Now, okay, there were some guys that actually had some decent games. Toljan. Oh, wait, he's not really with us, is he? He won with Sassuolo. Can we not count that? God damn it, Brett, we don't have many wins. Can I not count Jeremy Toljan? Please let me count him.
I wish we could, but we have seen no evidence that the USSF is willing to call him up.
All right. Well, McKenzie went 90. He got a goal, and they won. Again.
Or was it an assist?
No, it was a goal.
Oh, okay.
We went through this earlier. Kappas did not dress. Conrad did not dress. Shocker. Sebastian Salcedo did not play. So did Fernando Arce. This is in Mexico. CCV went 90 in a win in the Cup versus Malik Tillman, who went 36, got injured, and they lost. DK's injured. Gooch went 90 in a win. Hey, shout out to Sunderland and Gooch.
He's back.
They look like, well, he's been back, but yeah, it looks like they're headed up.
I thought he was still vying for time there.
No, he's been back. Nope, he's been a regular starter for about 3 games now.
So Sunderland's currently in 7th place.
They're fighting.
6th place is the playoffs.
I know they're fighting. They're fighting.
They're only 2 points down right now.
Right, they're fighting for that last spot.
Yeah.
Trusty, no, we already mentioned he went 85 in a loss. Weah went 30 and win. Des did not dress. No shit. Haji Wright went 84 and a win. Did not score. Jaboli Arayebi is still injured for Ankaragachu. I know.
Zoom tight.
Hurlitzer with St. Pauli won again. They're now in 5th in Bundesliga 2. They look like they're on their way up. Reyna in a tie. He got like those 10 little spittle minutes that he's been getting recently. Maurice Malone went 80, got an assist and a win for Wolfsberger in Austria. Emmanuel Sabi went 90, got a goal and a tie for OB. Leonard Maloney continues to impress for Heidenheim, went 90 in a win versus Julian Green and Maximilian Dietz of Firth. That I watched that game. It was atrocious to watch. It was so boring. And then we already talked about Testament and Busio. So some MLS standouts. There weren't many of those either. Brendan Bye got an assist for England. CJ Sapong scored for Toronto. Jackson Yule got a goal for San Jose. So did Ibobase. Jonathan Tolkien got an assist for New York Red Bulls. Duke got a goal for Montreal. Pakal, our old friend Fafa, got a goal for Nashville, but so did Zimmerman got an assist, but Bunbury also scored for Nashville. There you go. That covers the Yanks abroad and the MLS dudes. American MLS dudes. Even flow.
Full circle, Derek. Full circle.
All right. I have to bring it back. All right. That's probably all we got for tonight. And I know it's a quick one, but you know, what are we supposed to make up shit to cover?
We do our best. To cover? But
I mean, we're just going to give you what we got, and then once
we talk about music for like the first 10 minutes.
I know, once the load's unloaded, you got to kind of walk away, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, unless you love her, then you stay overnight and sleep. But otherwise, if it's not a she and you're all alone at night and you let it rip, it's time to move on to other things, right? And I think that this, I think we've unloaded what we've got. Yes, make shit up.
I feel like we do a pretty good job of that for like the first 20, 25
We already
minutes.
did. I mean, I do want to comment though. I think Pearl Jam's a horrible name for a band. But then again, my own band, I hate my own band.
I forgot what their original name was, but it was much worse, if I recall correctly.
Toe Jam.
Yeah.
They're like, and Eddie's like, man, that's a really bad name. How about Pearl?
Nobody likes
Pearl
Toe
Jam.
Everybody likes semen, right?
Pearl Jam. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't even know what Pearl Jam is. I've never heard of it. Not something I've come up. Even Flow. How is my Eddie Vedder?
It's okay.
I could do better.
Some work. You better work on it, okay?
No, because he's got
Thursday show. He's
got that wiggle in his voice, right? Even Flow. I can't get that.
It's
a vibrato.
I've seen enough shows where they talk about like it's like the scene, the goat scene, like it vibrates every time you.
Yeah, it's like the Bee Gees guy. The Bee Gees guy, because he did this. I started a joke, which started the whole world crying. He's got that wiggle too.
B. Morton, Oceans is a good song. I also like Porch from 10. Porch is a good song too.
Yeah, it's outside of my territory. I was way into like Pavement at the time, Sonic Youth. Like I left this whole Sebado I was listening to, Pixies. So, Pearl Jam was sort of like on the edges of almost too commercial. It's too commercialized back in the 90s for me.
Gotcha.
And that was okay. I still listen to their shit. At least it wasn't that do. What's the little all I can see is my life is pretty plain.
It's the band from Indiana. Way to hate on your locals, Derek.
I'm insane. Fuck that band. Whoever they were. What is that?
Blind Melon.
Oh God, that was the
Blind
worst
Melon.
fucking band.
Their one song, and the lead singer of Blind Melon actually acted as backup vocals to Guns N' Roses before he died of an overdose.
He overdosed in the back of a bus. Yeah, from heroin.
Poor guy.
That's horrible for him. But yeah, they were a horrible band. Oh my God, they were.
I only know the one. Everybody only knows the one song because that's the only song that hit the radio. And outside of that, who bought the album for that one song? Really?
But that fucking song was garbage. It is so. Oh God! And the video with the bee, the girl dressed in a bee thing. What the fuck was that?
It was ahead of their time, apparently.
I don't know, dude, but that needed to be thrown to the trash because it was garbage. Anyhow, a lot of the girls that I live with in the house
like Uba Stank.
No, I don't. I do not like Uba Stank. Uba Stank can wank it. Don't like that either. Anyhow,
they filmed that whole early noughts brand of music that came out during that time period. I don't mind Uba Stank. They're nothing to write home to by any means.
I've never played in a show with any band that played music like that. Like,
fair enough. You played a completely different genre of music there.
I know. I played what's called indie rock.
I know you know.
INDIE rock. Anyhow, we were cool back then. We were cool cats. It's not shoegazer or any of that other stuff. It's indie rock. It was a whole category on its own. Look up Sebado, Pavement, Pixies were kind of the early version of that, right?
Yeah.
Sonic
Derek
Youth.
likes Sugar Ray.
Oh, see, now he's just yanking it. He's just like pulling my hair. He's like, yeah, let's get Derek irritated. Let's get him irritated.
And everything like that. But Sugar Ray's first album with Fly, with the commercial that Fly, absolute garbage. But the entire album itself was a lot of fun because it was just more of a heavier metal type of sound to it. And I was cool with that. And then they just sold out. And they went the commercial route.
I think they sold out from day one, my friend. Really? Come on. It was a lot of fun.
You listened to any of their music?
I watched whatever was on MTV at the time.
There you go. The answer is no, Derek. Just shut up.
It sucked, Brett. It sucked.
You've seen
there
only
a bunch
the
of fucking
shit.
pretty boy music.
No.
Bunch of pretty boy
you're dying
fucking
on this
music.
Oh,
come on. The
you,
lead
you've
singer
heard
of,
Fly,
of
you've heard
Sugar
Fly
Ray.
and then all the commercial shit afterwards, Derek. That's all you
Sugar
heard.
Ray was not a pretty boy band. They weren't like a frat band. They were a frat band.
Okay, sure. I'll go with their frat band, but they're also their first album was actually pretty heavy. Outside of Fly, which was the commercial hit that they've milked off of ever since.
Well, that's all I know.
Like,
probably that and a couple other songs.
Sucked. I've only heard the shit that was played on MTV.
So you want me to go back through Sugar Ray's archives? Is that what you're asking me to do?
No, but you have an objective opinion based on a band of what you saw commercially. And you're like the anti-commercial guy, so I don't hear this.
I cannot see how it was that much better.
Oh my god, it was night and day different. Like you've heard Fly, which is garbage, and then the rest of the album is more heavy. It's like legit heavy.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. Yeah, that never reached my doorstep.
Oh, sure. I mean, if you only saw the commercial shit, you'll never would have predicted that anything would have been on any of the other album. When I say any of the first album, but outside that, once they sold, man, I bounced.
Yeah, we'll get into music again some other day. Anyhow, it is what it is now. We've talked it long enough. Yes, Brett, put him in his place. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Well, yeah, I mean, the thing is, Brett and I grew up in different eras of music completely, I think. So it's going to be hard. I mean, I don't know, Brett, do you even know who Tribe Called Quest is?
Yes.
You do? All right. So we're not totally completely hip hop, indie rock.
The music that you listened to as you were growing up, like through your high school into college era, was the shit that I wish like X103 would have played more often, but instead they continued with the commercial shit that everybody likes, And it's whatever it is, what it is. But
well, we were lucky enough to live through an era when actual decent bands were played on the radio. I will say that. Like if you consider REM a decent band, and I think they have some really good songs. So I was just like, if that's like the bottom or the average, if REM's like the average band that you're playing on the radio, I mean, we're good times because then you got a lot of other stuff too. So I still have Simpatico by Velocity Girl. I never really listened to Velocity Girl. I never really did. But then again,
I might know the song, but I don't know the name.
I haven't really listened to much music since 2010, to be honest with you, because whenever I hear new stuff, I'm like, puke. Oh, God. But then, if you really want to hear good music, you got to go out and look for it because it is out there. It's just hard to find. Like Matador Records always had something that was great on Matador. Sub Pop would always have something decent that they would put out. Nickelback can suck my fucking scrotum. Actually, you know what? I don't even want them near my scrotum. I just want them gone.
I still remember the time on Twitter where I made a Nickelback reference and got no interaction at all. I'm not sure if nobody got the reference or if everybody was ashamed that they got the reference and didn't want to comment.
Yeah. Nickelback references, just like Nickelback, nobody wants anything to do with them. So, all right, people, we love you. Thank you for coming out and hanging out with us for an hour and 50 minutes, almost 2 hours.
We tried
to get to 2 hours. We just bullshitted for an extra 10 minutes there, but not on purpose. We just got excited. All right, but we will be back on Monday. Thursday. And hopefully we have something else to talk about besides jizz and titties, because we need some soccer to talk about. Maybe we hire a coach. Who knows? Could get a coach by then. Gracia might get fired. Although this isn't a Leeds channel, technically, but we will cover it because McKenzie and Adams and Aronson are there. That's practically 1/3 of the American national team.
Yeah.
So we got to cover that.
Soon to be a constant too.
And then Marsch might get hired. So there's that too. All right. We love you. Many hugs and kisses. And remember, if it's your stepsister, it's absolutely legal. Just be careful to not upset the family dynamic. That's all I'm saying. Good night.